What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Chaos Reigns gaming channel, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be ranking every single wonder weapons from Treyarch zombies only. Now, we've already covered the maps for both Treyarch and non-Treyarch, but I wanted to do the wonder weapons now, because in Treyarch there's a lot of different wonder weapons, as you can see down here, as well as special equipment or tacticals as well. We're not going to be going through the tacticals. We are going to be going through everything, basically from World at War to Cold War. The reason why I am not including Vanguard is because Vanguard actually only has one wonder weapon, and that's the Decimator Shield. And the problem with that is that if I could, I would make a whole tier of its own. Hi there friends, Future Me here. I just wanted to let you know why I said about putting the Decimator Shield on the very bottom of this tier list. And that is because A, you can only get it in two maps, Terra Maledicta and the Archon. But the problem that I have with it is, yes, it's a Riot Shield wonder weapon, but it only has one shot, and you have to wait for a 30-second cooldown. The clearing isn't really that good. I've tried it a couple of times. It's not as effective as some of these other wonder weapons are. And the problem that I have with it is that you need to have a horde clear or a distraction method, which this one provides neither. And because of, even though it can do infinite damage, it just doesn't feel like all the other wonder weapons listed here. So that's kind of why I actually put it down towards the bottom. Anyways, back to the tier ranking. Why? Because it's that bad. And honestly, I don't feel like I want to do that. And Vanguard just makes me get a headache. So, with that being said, how do we do this? We're going to be looking at determining whether it is a high damage wonder weapon, meaning does it kill infinitely? Does it kill a certain number? How does it work? On top of that, we're going to be looking at the distraction effect. Basically, can you get out of a horde of zombies quickly and effectively? Third, we're going to be looking at the ease of it in order to get it out of the box or quest build, that kind of area. So how as easy is it going to be able to get? And then finally, just some personal opinions of mine. So if you guys do enjoy this kind of stuff, please let me know down in the comments section. Hit the like button if you like it. Make sure you subscribe as well to the channel and turn on notifications. And let's jump into it. We're starting with the ray gun. Now this is an absolute classic. I personally like the ray gun. I think it's what started all the wonder weapons and basically kind of gave you what sort of high damage weapon would be like that was completely made up or completely engineered by scientists out of the box. It was good in World at War. It was not as great when it got into like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. However, it was revitalized for Cold War for a short time. And then I just felt like with Cold War, everything kind of went down for the ray gun because of just the other wonder weapons being better in my opinion. But it was a great sidearm to have. So I'm actually going to put it in the top of C. I think that with the ray gun, it's good for damage, especially during World at War. It's pretty average. And then splash damage also kind of hurts you, which means that it can easily kill you towards the end. I think this is a fair spot. The Wonder Waff. The Wonder Waff I did enjoy when it came to Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3 because you didn't lose your jug. In World at War though, especially for Shino Numa and Doris, you can lose your jug off this weapon. However, it does make up for infinite damage. And it is easy to move around and it's easily able to get from the box. Same with the ray gun as well. So I think it's going to be a B tier. The ammo count is low, especially when you only have 15 rounds for the ammo. But I will say this, like I said, I think they did it better for Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 3, but it's also infinite damage, so I think it gives it a pass. You can also chain the lightning in order to kill not just one, but you can kill up to 12 zombies, I believe, per shot. So that at least gives you a good number to kind of clear the horde out, which isn't bad. I like that. The Thunder Gun. The Thunder Gun is an infinite damage wonder weapon, but its ammo count is not that great. You only get 2 in the magazine and 12 in the reserve. And this is the unpack-punched versions of these weapons. So I think that this is not a super duper great, like in terms of ammo count wise, but it does make up for in damage and for clearing. And also it's easy to get out of the box as well, especially for maps like Kino and Ascension. It later came back around for Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 as well. Black Ops 3 was for Revelations, Black Ops 4 was for TOG. I just don't know why they brought that back for Black Ops 4. For Black Ops 3, it kind of makes sense, but I just felt like there was too many wonder weapons on that map anyways. But honestly, in my opinion, just because, I mean, sure, you have, there's no real distraction effect for this one. I'm going to give it a B, just purely, and it's going to be above the Wonder Waff because of the ability to just, it doesn't take away your chug. That's kind of what I'm looking for, is that if the Wonder Weapon doesn't screw you, it's better in my opinion. And that's why I think it's up there. The good old buddy of the Winter's Howl. What can I say about you? That's what I'll say about you as a D tier. Now, why? It's because of the damage. The damage is not infinite. And the problem is that, especially on 5, when you get up into like the 30s, it kind of poops out a little bit. Even the Winter's Fury Pack-a-Punch, it doesn't kill the zombies. It slows them down. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong. You get, I think it's like in the base one, I think it's like you get 4 in the mag and 12 in the reserve. 4 in the mag and 20 in the reserve or something like that. Not 12 in the reserve. But I know for sure that the Winter's Howl in Classified is a little bit stronger, which is great. But what I was also going to say was the Winter's Fury gets 6 in the mag and 48 in the reserve, which isn't bad. But, like I said, there's real no distraction effect. The damage isn't infinite and just slows them down for a short time, so you have to keep on blasting it every so often. I like how they upped the damage in Black Ops 4, but that's all it really did, and it got a new kind of sleeker redesign compared to this Black Ops 1 counterpart. But like I said, it's not that good. It's not one of my favorites, honestly. I think there are way more like better wonder weapons than this one that I would take with me if I was ever in a true apocalypse. The Scavenger. The Scavenger is pretty cool. It's a sniper wonder weapon. I personally like it because of the hybrid scope, especially when you pack punch it, or the scope in general. It does create a large explosion and gets rid of a lot of the zombies. The timer on it is a little bit long, but it can clear, and it's easy to get, which is because it's from the box. So that's at least a plus. The ammo count is very limited. It is similar to the Wonder Waff, which is a 3 in the mag and 12 in the reserve. But I think personally it's also kind of nice because it's on one of the best maps, Call of the Dead. And I love the design, but it's going to be above the ray gun in C tier because of the splash damage, and on top of it, the timer for the bomb doesn't get set off right away. You shoot it and you wait a second for it to charge up, and then it goes. The only reason why it's above the ray gun is because when you get PhD for this weapon, it's amazing. It's really, 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 really good. So that's why I'm putting it there. Now, this pains me to put it this low, but honestly, the VR11's in D tier. The reason why the VR11 is in D tier is because the distraction effect for the zombies only limits to 1, which you change back into a human. They follow for a short time, but it explodes. There is only 3 in the magazine and 9 in the reserve, which is not really that good. But here's the plus side, at least to it. It's in the box, which is very, very nice to have, but it creates a red insta-kill for your fellow teammates. And that's nice as a support weapon, but I'm also looking at this from a solo perspective. And that's why I'm putting it this low. It sucks that I have to put it here, but it makes sense when you really look at, like, do you want it as a support? Great, that's when it's probably an A tier wonder weapon. But when you're doing it solo, it's just another thing that's kind of in your inventory, and you just really don't need it, is my problem. So like I said, overall, great design, great idea for the wonder weapon. It's used in the Easter egg too. It's just, it's not a killing wonder weapon. It doesn't really kill, and that's the issue that I have. Baby Maker or the 3179 JGB? Ooh, now I'm at a dilemma here. Honestly, I think it's an S tier. There's one specific reason why, and that is because it's infinite damage, and you will not get hit if you do it correctly. When I say this, I mean you get it out of the box, great. It's good for that. It has 5 in the mag and 25 in the reserve. Not bad for a wonder weapon. But here's the thing that sets it apart. You don't necessarily kill the zombies, you shoot them and turn into babies, but then you run across them and you can just make them fly in the air. And it is such a fun wonder weapon that I really enjoyed personally. It clears out a horde very nicely, as well as that you don't even get damaged. Maybe on the Black Ops 1 version you do, but on the Black Ops 3 version of Shangri-La, you don't get damaged by it. The only time you will ever get damaged by one of them is if they grow back to being normal-sized zombies, or large-sized zombies. That's it. Honestly, I think the baby gun is probably one of the best wonder weapons, statistically. When you look at everything, I mean, there is one that is above it, but I think in terms of the ones that we've had so far on this list, this is the best, in my personal opinion, and statistically the best. The wave gun! Yay! We're going to throw it into A tier. Now, the reason why I'm throwing it in A tier and not into like S tier, because I also did have a thought about putting it into S tier. The problem that I have is the zap guns don't really do anything for you. They're kind of just there in the higher rounds. Whereas the baby gun, it can go for high rounds. The wave part of the wave gun is pretty cool when you attach them together, but you also get 2 in the magazine and 12 in the clip. That's the problem that I also have, is that the ammo in this was really, really small. However, I think it is one of the most uniquely designed wonder weapons. I enjoy this design kind of deal because it is feeling like it's out of this world, but it's similar to the ray guns. You get 2 of them, which are cool. And plus, with the wave gun, after you shoot it, you make the zombies float up and they ding like popcorn. And I think that is probably a cool mechanic that I wish that Treyarch would still introduce into their wonder weapons, because I think it is one of the most hilarious ways to see them go. That's why I think it is deserving of an A tier spot. This we're just throwing into F. What can I say about the jet gun? On paper, it is the best because it's infinite damage, it looks cool, and you can kill as many zombies as you want, and you can clear the horde. There's a couple problems that I have with this when they implemented it. One, you have a time limit that you have to use it in. Because if it overheats, it can break. Why would you want a wonder weapon to break on you? That's not the point of a wonder weapon. The point of a wonder weapon is to be overpowered and for you to keep it, not for it to break. Secondly, it takes a long time to kill. That is a big issue. Whereas, yes, the Winter's Howl takes a long time to kill, but that's in the later rounds. This is right off the bat as soon as you get it. And then on top of it, it's not even in the box. You have to search around the entire map of Transit, which is one of the largest maps to date. Like, maybe not to date, but at least up there compared, unless like Black Ops 4 has larger maps. But, like I said, they had such promise for this wonder weapon, but it fell flat on its face. And that's one of the big issues that I have with it. Honestly, this wonder weapon just, it makes my soul hurt. It sucks. However, the Slickifier is in S tier. And when I say that, I mean, when you go back and you do the pre-patch Slickifier, even the patch Slickifier is an A tier wonder weapon, but I'm also going off of both sides. The pre-patch one, you shot it once, it ended the entire round. You also have 10 in the mag and 40 in the reserve, which is actually a good amount. It's homemade, like you're using a mannequin's foot as a stock. That is cool. On top of it, I think in terms of like, not just distraction effect, but like in terms of basically what it does, is that you can shoot it at the ground and it makes the ground slick. And it causes the zombies to slip and fall. That gives you time to run away. Maybe not as much time as it does for, let's say for instance, like the wave gun. But I think statistically, this was probably one of the best ones that we've had for Black Ops 2. Honest opinion. I mean, sure, you have the Paralyzer and you have a couple other ones, but I think this one really holds a near and dear, like, piece to my heart because of just how good it was back then. And honestly, I could see this in a zombie apocalypse. I could see someone building this. It makes sense for the world. And I think I really enjoy that a lot more than just something like that's out of Cosmic Being. The Blunder Gap, and we're going to get into like the Vitrolic Withering and the Magma Gat as well, but this is like the OG Magma Gat and the Sweeper. Honestly, I think it's a high C. Hear me out. The reason why I think it's a high C is because yes, you can kill multiple zombies with it, but it doesn't have a distraction effect. That's one of the bigger issues that I have. You can horde clear a good amount, but if you can't get yourself out of the corner by distracting them and basically making them like stop or go somewhere else, that's a big issue. Also the problem that I have is that with the original Blunder Gat, it's one shot reload, even though you have 60 in the reserves. The Sweeper has 2 and 120, which makes it nice, but it just makes it feel like just an overpowered double-barreled shotgun. That's kind of why I'm at least putting the original Blunder Gat down in C. It could be a B tier one just because of how it obliterates everything, but like I said, that's kind of where I would put it. The Acid Gat, I'm also taking into account of Black Ops 4. I'm going to put it in the middle of B. And it's purely because of Black Ops 4 reasoning. They really made the Acid Gat horrible in Black Ops 4. In Black Ops 2, it is the most amazing thing ever, because you can get 3 shots. It is the Vitrolic Withering. On top of that, it creates a distraction effect as well for the zombies and makes them stand still and makes some other ones come over. The problem that I have with it is that it also damages yourself, because when they explode. But like I said, with the Vitrolic Withering in Black Ops 4, they limited it down to 2, but that's not even a half of it. The problem that I have with it in Black Ops 4 is just that it doesn't deal enough damage. Why do you think everybody goes for the Magma Gat? And speaking of which, the Magma Gat is up in A. Just because the distraction effect is longer compared to the Acid Gat. I think if you did the Black Ops 2 Acid Gat and the Magma Gat from Black Ops 4, it would be a tied place. But because they changed it for Black Ops 4 for the Acid Gat, that's why I think the Magma Gat is higher. And honestly, I think it is so cool for the upgrading quest. Yes, you can get the Blundergat out of the box, but you have to feed it souls. Then you have to take the Tempered Blundergat from the Warden's house towards the new Industries building where the press is in order to get it. And it stays there for the entire game. I will say that getting the fire there is a little bit tedious, but at the exact same time, it's like, it makes sense. Like, this is what kind of a wonder weapon we need. And that's why I really enjoy the Magma Gat over the Acid Gat. The Ray Gun Mark II, I think is a solid B tier. I think it's above the Acid Gat. It's not at the level of the Thunder Gun, but it's definitely above the Acid Gat because of what happened with Black Ops 4. Now, what can I say about the Ray Gun Mark II? It's a burst fire, so that means that you shoot 3 shots, there's no splash damage, the damage goes up significantly high. It's not infinitely damage, but it's definitely up there. I will say this, the reloading time isn't that bad, you can get it out of the box, which is really, really nice on top of it, and honestly, I like the redesign. I think this is kind of the ray gun that we needed because we got sick and tired of the old original ray gun. And then plus on top of it, after getting it for buried, it's on every map, which is, I think, really, really nice and really, really generous for them to do so. Unfortunately, it was on Jimmy Zielinski's last map, but I think he really did right by this. And I think this was one of his last wonder weapons to say farewell to the zombie series. Like I said, I think the Ray Gun Mark II is up there, but I will say this, the Paralyzer takes the A spot. And it's purely because you can slow down the zombies, and then you can make them stop, they disappear, you have a good amount of ammo in there, it's up to 115 ammo. However, I will say this, it's infinite ammo, which means you just have to let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, you're back to shooting it. And getting it upgraded to the Petrifier reduces that cooldown, and it's speed coal on top of that, you're golden. You're set to camp up in the top of the, like the bank area for buried to get all the way up to the high rounds. This is what they use besides the buildables, because they slow everything down, and then the buildables kill them. So, that's why I think the Paralyzer, I also love its design. The distraction effect is there. Like the horde clearing capabilities, like the damage is also there. The only thing that I wish that I could do was just kill them faster. That's all. Like, or not even just faster, kill more than just the ones out in front of you. I wish like down in the sides it was like they were slowed slightly. That's the only thing. Ice Staff, I think in terms of the upgrade, I think it's a clear S tier. And we'll talk about these after I get done. The Wind Staff, I would actually have to say, is a B tier. The Fire Staff, I think, is an A tier. And then the Lightning Staff is in C tier. The reason why I'm putting all these together is because, or I'm talking about these all together, I should say, is because it just makes sense. And I'm going to be doing this for the bows. I'm doing this for the other Ray Gun Mark IIs. I'm doing this similar for the hands. I think the staves are really, really good. I think they're basically the grandfather of what are good for wonder weapon elementals like. I think they did very, very well with this. And honestly, like I said, everybody uses the Ice Staff to get up to round 100. The Fire Staff has a nice kind of like area of killing range. I think that the Wind Staff is cool when you suck up the zombies and make them like kind of go bye-bye that way. And then the lightning staff is basically the Wonder Waff 2.0, except it's just with a ball of electricity that just shoots out and it kills a bunch of them. But I will say the thing that does suck is a little bit of the ammo, mainly for the wind staff, is not that good. The best one is the electric one, is the lightning staff. Because Kinamat's Bite, you get like, I think it's like 12, not 12 in the clip. I think it's like 15 in the clip and then like 120 in the reserve. I could be wrong. I mean, Ull's Arrow is amazing when it's upgraded. Kagamat's Blood is also very good. And I mean, Boros Fury, I mean, who doesn't like the stabs? The stabs are one of the best, I think, in my opinion. The Apothecant Servant is an immediate S tier. Distraction effect, pulling the zombies in through the black hole. On top of it is an infinite damage wonder weapon. You can build it or get it out of the box. Specifically in Revelations, you can get it out of the box. And then on top of that, it's mobile. It's easy to use. This is, I think, the most perfect wonder weapon that we've had for a zombies mode. I think this is like the number one that I think everybody is like, well, what's your favorite wonder weapon? I think a lot of people will say the Apothecant Servant because of just how good it is. And that's just my personal opinion. But again, everybody has their own opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. The Wrath of the Ancients bow, I think, is a C tier wonder weapon. And I think it is, I think it's below the staff. And it's purely because of the ammo count. I think it does the same damage. I think it's good because you don't have to constantly reload it. But like when I say reloading, I mean like you don't have a magazine or a clip in it. It's just how many arrows you have. I will say though, it does like teeter off after a little while. But it is also just the base bow. And that's why I'm not too upset about it. That's why I think it's a perfect C tier pick. I think the lightning bow, though, however, I think it is actually in A tier. The void bow I actually would put in C tier. The wolf is in B tier, and then the fire's in D. Now, going down the list, lightning is great for hordes. Same with wolf bow. Same with the void bow and the fire bow. I think they're all great for hordes. I just think that the damage is very apparent when you shoot them. The lightning, you know, is clearly the best, and then it goes down in order. The distraction effect, though, however, I will say, goes to the void bow. I think the void bow has the best distraction effect, especially when you see the rift open and you see keeper heads swarming the zombies and eating off their face. I think that is one of the coolest kind of distraction effects that we've gotten. However, I will say, fire is also cool because it holds them in place and shoots flames up, but nobody really goes for the firebow because of how extensive the process is. Like, you have to shoot the little glowing light by the rocket, then you have to jump from pad to pad, shooting these little symbols, filling them up with souls. Then from there, you have to change the top of the clock, and then you have to shoot from your spot over to a specific fireplace. I think that is probably one of the harder wonder weapon upgrade quests, but I think the bow itself looks cool, don't get me wrong. It's just, that's all. And I think with each of the bows, each of them are unique in their own way. But like I said, I think lightning is the number one best. The KT-4. Honestly, I think it's the bottom of C. I don't think it's a great wonder weapon because it's a rip from the Hive specialist in Black Ops 3. I think it is great in terms of slowing down the zombies, filling them up with pus, and exploding them. So I think the distraction effect is kind of there, but it's not really there. The damage is also really, really nice. The ammo count is pretty good with 6 out of 36 rounds of this kind of like chemical that's there. I just feel like you can build it, but you can also get it out of the box, so it's not that bad. It's just, out of personality's sake, I just feel like they didn't really just want to recreate a new wonder weapon. And like I've said before, the main wonder weapon I think of Zetsubo is the skull. I think the skull takes the show compared to the KT4. And that's why I think I'm just putting it in C. Speaking of another kind of like C pick, but just higher, I think the Ray Gun Mark III is in C. The reason why is the damage drops off compared to the normal ray gun. You can't get infinite damage with it. You get up to like round 70 and it poops out. I think it's cool because you have the ray gun in one hand and then the Gersh style shooter in the other one. And I think that is really, really cool, and especially because it basically was in a Russian map, which was Gorod Koroveri, which was the City of Blood, which is Stalingrad. It makes sense for why it's there. The problem that I just have was I wish they had the infinite damage of one of the other wonder weapons along with this, because I think it would, like when I say infinite damage, I mean specifically for the Gersh end. Like you shoot it, you shoot with your ray gun, it turns into a purple Gersh kind of teleportation thing that kills zombies. I think that would be so cool as an infinite damage. I don't care if they're separately, they're not infinite damage. I just wish the combined effect would have infinite damage on its capabilities. Revelations had pretty much like the Apothecant Servant and the Thunder Gun, so we're not going to deal with that. We're going to move on to the Kraken. I think it's a D tier. I think it is one of the best designed ones. I think it is so cool to have it on the Titanic. It has 4 elemental upgrades. I don't know which one is the best one, honestly. Like, I don't play Voyage enough to tell you that, like, yes, this one is the highest damaged one, or this is the worst one to get. Honestly, this gun is just cool. That's all it is. The damage isn't there because Black Ops 4 really reduced the damage. The ammo count isn't really there. You run through ammo so quickly with them. And then it's just, even with the elemental types of ammo, you can go through that really fast. So I'm not a huge fan of it. It's just kind of there to me. I feel like if they had like a different kind of stylistic choice with it, where it's like, yeah, you have the cannons, but you have the entire like squid body holding it up together, that would be cool. That would be so sick, because then it looks more organic, like actually something ripped from the sea. And that's why, honestly, I think the Death of Orion is at the bottom of C. Because the distraction effect holds the zombies in there while slowly damaging them. I think it's a cool aesthetic wonder weapon, especially because it's in a gladiatorial arena, it makes sense. I think the upgrade isn't too hard to get, and it has a good amount of ammo for it. I mean, sure, the non-upgraded version has 1 in 75, but the upgraded version has 1 in 90. And I think they really did right by this wonder weapon. I think the only issue that I have with is I wish they had more damage. I mean, sure, the headshot multiplier on this is amazing, but I'm talking about just straight up body shots. It doesn't really do anything. It's not very good. Anyways, we went through Blood of the Dead and in Classified. So now we're going to move on to Dead of the Night. Alistair's Folly. I'm going to put it in B, because I think there are certain elements about it that are good, like in terms of some of the stuff that comes out of the guns, like the Eye of Sauron, or like the shooting down of the green lasers and everything. But honestly, it's just, like I said, it's another mid one. That's why it's towards the bottom of B. It doesn't really have a distraction effect, but I will say that I think when you upgrade it more, the damage is there, but it's mainly through the charge shots, and that's why I'm putting it at B. The charge shots do more damage compared to the actual one itself. Nobody really just one-shoots it, or like does like a 6-pistol, like one-shot it. This is why like everybody's like, okay, let's get these like charge shots off when we're doing the werewolf boss fight. And I will say, I did enjoy building it. Like, you can get the Alistair's Folly alone out of the box or out of the safe, but I think upgrading it is really, really fun. The Savage Impaler is an F. I have never gotten this wonder weapon. I don't care for it. It's a different version of the Anic Shadow Claws. It's not really high in damage. You can't Pack-a-Punch it. There's no distraction effect. The only reason why it goes above the Jet Gun is because it actually can kill and doesn't break. This one actually, like, it makes sense, but it's just, it's not really good. I don't like it. So, anyways, I think Charon is in A. Gaia, I think, is in C. Hera, I think it's Hera, or the Gauntlet of Hermes. It's either Hera, Hermes, or Helios. It's one of those four. I think this one is in B, and Ouranos is in B. And I think, yes, this is kind of the order I want to go. The reason why I put Charon so high, it's because that is the one when you get the Exalted Hand of Charon, you actually can go over around 100 with this one. The distraction effect is also there, because it actually makes them stop and pulls them under. On top of it is an infinite damage one. And then on top of it, it's easy to get. All you have to do is just grab a dormant hand and put it into Charon's statue. Then you have to take it over, make the River of Sorrows blood red. You drink from it, and you find 3 coins to put on your stand, and then you go and get it. I think all of these are easy to get, but the hardest one I think that I would say is to get is the one for Ouranos, because you have to shoot the zombies into the feather and then shoot the feather correctly. If you do not have enough shots, then that's your big issue. The only one that I would say otherwise is the sun one. Like I said, I don't remember its name, but I think that one's hard just because as soon as you get it from the sundials and you get it in the little cup and you knife it, you just have to run it back to your spot with enough time while it's still lit, and you have to knife it again. That's my only problem. Gaia is just there. It's not great, but it's not the worst, honestly. That's my opinion. I think all of these, though, for the Ray Gun Mark IIs, are in D. Each of them have their own specific flaws. Especially like the Ray Gun Mark Y, the Z, the W, and the X. They're basically copycats of the original Ray Gun. I think the best one, and I actually kind of put it in the order that I think is the best. I think the electric one is the best. It's like a Ghostbusters. Then you have the dual wields. Then you have the shotgun, and then you have the explosive. But like I said, they're copycats. They really don't have a distraction effect. Their damage isn't infinite. You have to, especially with the Ray Gun Mark Y, you just kind of have to hold it down for a certain time, and when the rounds go up, it gets even harder. And it's also an Alpha Omega B. And the building these kind of suck as well, because you have a long and tedious process where it's like, oh yeah, you have to get the certain alternate ammo type, and sometimes you don't even get it. So that's kind of why I put these in D altogether, is just because it's way too tedious, and then they don't give you the results. Tundra Gun is going right into F. Why did they do that? Along with the Wunderwaffe DG Scharfschütze. It's a Wunderwaffe sniper, but there's no distraction effect. You have to get a headshot for it, otherwise it's not infinite damage. I mean, the only good thing about it is the ammo count. But the Tundra Gun doesn't really do enough damage, and it's a copycat of the Thunder Gun. It's just plain and simple. Like, why? No, this is not... These two just make me just... Togdertone is a good map, but the wonder weapons on it are just not great. Why do you think they added back in the Thunder Gun on that map? Because they knew it was going to be bad, and they knew it was going to suck. Moving on. I think the Die, honestly, I think the Die is an A tier wonder weapon. Hear me out. I think this was a good wonder weapon because it has a base variant, and then it has 4 other variants that are similar to the bows. And when I say I mean it's similar to the bows, which is you have the Wrath of the Ancients, but then you have 4 alternate variants. And recently with the Pack-a-Punch, you can get more ammo for it, and it's stronger. The Lightning one is the best. I mean, sure, you do have like the Die 5, and the Magma Ball, and the Cryo Freeze one. But nobody really uses those because everyone goes for the Lightning one. But you can also get it in the box. And that's what's also key, besides getting it from the bunker in D Machine. There's 2 ways that you can get it, meaning that at least 2 people in your game will have the die, which is really, really nice. The Ray K, I think honestly is a D tier wonder weapon. And the reason why I say that is the damage isn't always there. I think it's also an interesting process to get, because you have to get the eye, then you have to do the dartboard, then you have to do the locker, then you have to do the mangler as well. And just building it sometimes isn't always fun, because sometimes you don't always get it right. On top of it, it's kind of a lackluster wonder weapon. I mean, I will say this, it does way more damage than it does for the Winter's Howl, but still, the distraction effect is not there. The mobility is nice. The ammo capacity is nice too. I mean, you get 50 out of 350, and then you pack a bunch, you get 50 out of like 500, which is really nice. But I don't really play Firebase Z enough to just basically be like, yes, this is a good wonder weapon. However, the Cerberus I think is an A tier wonder weapon. The reason why I think so is because you have the different variants. It does clear hordes very effectively. However, the base variant is so overpowered because it can kill zombies within a single shot, as well as you have the little mini orb there to help you. It's a gun that talks to you as well, because it is from Strauss, it is from Major Carver, and it's from Dr. Prey. I think this is a very unique wonder weapon, and I think it's one of the best ones that we've gotten. I really enjoy playing with the Cerberus. Every single time I'm Mauer, I get so happy, because now I'm like, great, I'm set. This is a savior gun. And you can clear hordes with it super duper easy. And that's why I think it's an A tier wonder weapon. The Crystal Axe, however, I think is, honestly, I think it's a B tier. The reason why I think it's B tier is because it's not an infinite damage. But it's nice because with the axe variant, what you can do is you can swing it around and you'll get armor back. I think that is really, really nice, as well as you can throw out another axe and you can hold it there for as long as you can, and then it'll retreat back to you, as it's kind of a like secondary special thing. But like I said, it's not an infinite damage wonder weapon. I think it aesthetically looks very pleasing, and I think it is like one of the best ones. But like I said, I think with the whole distraction effect, I think with the whole damage, I think a B tier is a solid pick. So, like I said, that's my tier list. Let me know, guys, if you feel like there should be some changes, if you guys like it, if you dislike it. Please let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you won't miss an upload to join the Chaos Army. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.